Want to stop juggling spreadsheets, calendars, and a dozen apps just to run your rentals? Lodgify makes it easy. It's an all-in-one toolkit for hosts. Build a direct booking website, automate guest messaging, and keep all your channels in sync. Running your rental business your way has never been simpler. And for Good Morning Hospitality listeners, you can get 20% off any yearly plan with code GMH20. Just check the link in the show notes to get started today.
Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels to short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah. Hello, and welcome from your hotel room. That doesn't look like your house. Where are you at today?
No, I am currently in Denver. I'm at the Westin Hotel in downtown Denver. I am going to be doing a little speaking gig just a little bit after this. So here I am. Oh, look.
Lou,
oh my gosh.
from
Coming
Charleston,
in from
South
Charleston.
Carolina. You know, now I can say one of my favorite cities. I was there 2 weeks ago.
I
Loved it.
mean, pretty nice. So I have to say Denver's awesome. It's also where Will lives. So that was cool. I got to see him earlier this week.
The Will Slickers, producer of GMH.
Will Slickers. Oh my gosh.
Oh, there he was. He snuck in. He snuck in.
Yeah. So I'm here. I was here for the hospitality show. Got to see a lot of great people. It was a great show. It wrapped yesterday, and I'm staying on an extra day just for this little extra kind of meeting that's going to be going on. So it's great though.
Talking about the hospitality show, I have not attended that show. Is it one worth visiting? Is it worth putting on the calendar for people?
It is. So this is officially the third year. And for those that don't know, this is actually the show that was put on by AHLA. So so it's great. So you've got everybody here. They do a really good job as far as the content. And then the trade show floor is huge. You get a lot of people out there, and they also do a really good job with like the after hours sort of thing. So the first opening night party was really lovely. And the weather was perfect because we were still outside for that. They did a 90s party. They had Mark McGrath, like Sugar Ray was there.
I love Sugar Ray.
Yeah, well,
it made me a little depressed last time I saw him at Eden Rock, like 2019. I was like, my boy.
Yeah.
He's still performing. He's having fun.
He is. He's definitely performing. So, but yeah. So it's been a great show. Got to see so many people, and it's been fun. So,
what was one thing, I'm putting you on the spot here, one thing that you came away like, all right, I learned something here on this?
Ooh, oh gosh, what was just going on? Oh gosh, you are putting me on the spot here with this. I know.
I'll let you think, because I was at the Independent Lodging Conference last week. I left the show and went straight there. And you know me, I'm very picky on conferences and trade shows. And
I'm clearly not.
I know, but I get a little picky and I get depressed on some of them. Like, oh my gosh, like empty, and the salespeople just sitting there at their booth and there's like no action. So this one I loved. The right people in the right room. Mm-hmm. Tickets were a lot. So I got a shout out to Skift. Got to go in as press. So thank you very much. To Rafa and the team, but I got to see and hear so many great ideas there. Yeah. You had the right people there. There were CEOs of Highgate and Standard and Trinity Investments that own giant hotels, and then all the independents talking to these people and kind of mixing all those cool ideas was a good vibe. Like there wasn't cliques and people grouped off. People were actually mingling and talking and enjoying the conversation versus like, stay away from me.
That's one of my favorite, I say conferences, but I mean, I almost would call it more of a meetup just because they do so many throughout the year. It's definitely up there as far as one of my favorites to go to just because of the vibe and the way that they set it up. Everybody's really talking to each other and they do a really great job. I mean, it's far more intimate, so it's hard to compare something like that, versus something that has thousands.
I like the vibes. How do you get that vibe and put it in some of these big places?
Yeah. No, it's great. And I mean, we're obviously we're fans of kind of the independent, more boutique hotels, just they're more nimble. They get to do fun things. They can be pretty creative. So yeah, no, that's great show. I think with this, I mean, look, I hate to even say, like AI is everywhere, but like AI is everywhere.
Yes,
it really is, and it's AI and then robots. I had a really fascinating discussion with the guys that had like the robots that deliver food, towels, all that stuff. And it was interesting because they were talking about how in the past couple of years, people were a little bit like standoffish, and now we've kind of turned their corner. And this, by the way, goes for any piece of technology, everything. It's like, it'll be out there and people will be like, I don't know. And then something happens, and all of a sudden consumer opinion has changed, or it just becomes more popular, and then boom. So it's a great reminder that if you are starting something and you are a firm believer that this is going to take off, we just need to like have it happen. Like you just have to know. So it was interesting that with the robot guys, that they were saying like now people are, I mean, they're buying them, and they're robots that are like 40, 50,000. They do cleaning, and it's
I owned a staffing company from 2014 to 2018, and in 2018 I met every robotics company, and no hotel wanted to work with me on it. Like, nope, absolutely not, not going to happen. And again, just a little too early. And now, 7 years later, we got robots delivering food on the streets and driverless cars, like we talked about last week. And
totally.
AI everywhere. So I think it's definitely coming pretty soon, because that robot will fill in, doesn't call out, doesn't need insurance.
They don't talk back, as he said. I was like, oh man.
They break down sometimes, but that's about it. But we talked about some things here. We talked about lifestyle hotels. We've talked about technology, which I think is a great segue into a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about today, don't you think?
Yeah. Ooh, look at you with that smooth transition. Oh my gosh. All right, yeah. Let's go ahead and
good to see Christelle again. Palm Beach. I love Palm Beach.
Oh man. All right, cool. All right, let's get talking to let's dive into our first couple of topics here. So Death and Company aims to build a bar first hotel brand, which is pretty neat. So they are expanding from cocktail bars, for those that are familiar with them, into hospitality with more for a bar first hotel brand. And this is interesting because it kind of flips the traditional model. Normally you build a hotel, of course you're going to have a bar, and this is very much kind of like merging that sort of nightlife culture into hospitality. And I like this.
I like it a lot. Look, I think what's interesting, I didn't know about them, so I started to research their company, went on their website, looked at all what they're doing, and it's what I'm really digging right now. It's where you're creating a third place for people to be. Right?
Yes.
It's not work or home. It's like a place that they want to invite people to come into, be a part of the community. And I like that that's their focus. They want rooms or hotels that have 50 to 100 rooms, because I feel like anything over that's very transactional. They want the lobby space to be very active, and they look for places that have heavy foot traffic. So they're only opening in places where they know people will come in, sit down, enjoy a drink, or have a coffee in the morning, or whatever it might be. And I think we want that more and more. I find myself searching out for those places because we do this virtually. And then we have Zoom calls, and we have things on our phones all the time. It's what can we do in person? And these are the kind of places that bring people out. Like, you don't have to be staying in the hotel. But if you're having a good time at the bar and maybe you need a place to stay, you can hang out for the night too. Yeah.
Again, it's like anytime that we can just approach things a little bit differently, like all for it. Do something different. I mean, we've seen other hospitality brands that are almost like more restaurant focused, and so now to see this being a bar focused, funny because, and it's just such like a weird full circle moment. The first Moxie I ever stayed in, and I also filmed that, was here in Denver in Cherry Creek. And I remember even with that, it's like you go and you check in at the bar. And I was like, oh, this is such a cool concept. I mean, obviously this is a shift from that, but I thought that was a really clever. It was very clever at the time, and so
I think they're going with the bar first idea, but really I could see it's the idea in the room. Everything's very thoughtful. The people behind it are very creative, and they don't want a big flag there. They want to stay nimble. They want to be able to test out ideas, and shout out to what they're doing there. And we've seen this happen with restaurants. People like the lifestyle brand, like Nobu, where I worked for a long time, successful restaurant. I said, hey, you know what? Let's create a hotel, because we're putting all our restaurants in hotels anyway. And I think it was kind of similar to them. They got approached by a lot of hotels that, hey, come do our bar program.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, let's create
Let's
our own
just
bar with a hotel. And so
totally.
I think if you can do it the right way and you have real fans and a good brand name, people will stay in the lifestyle that they like. So shout
Yeah,
out to the Roofing Company. I'm cheering you guys on. I hope to see one down here one day soon.
totally. No, it's
Talking about Christelle. Sorry,
oh,
Christelle just
yeah.
made me think Palm Beach. A hotel like that, it kind of reminds me of like the Colony Hotel in Palm Beach is similar-ish, where it's part of the neighborhood. People walk in, they get their coffee in the morning, they have dinner there, they have their
Mhm.
activities. So I like these places that are a boutique that have become part of the community where you can walk in and it's part of the neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting to see just also how it influences what other hotels end up doing, based off of the success of this,
I mean, it's one thing I did hear at the ILC, the Independent
Mhm.
Lodging Conference, was a lot of the big hotels looking to figure out how to create these more boutique-y vibes, but on their terms was how do you make it scalable, right? We can't
Yeah,
just do one-off. It's how do you make this thing scalable? It's they buy those brands or they create soft
totally.
brands. They do all different kind of things. So
Totally. I mean, that was like the hotel that I was at prior to this one was the Magnolia Hotel, and it's a tribute portfolio hotel, so it's technically under the Marriott umbrella, but very, very unique boutique vibes. It actually was it's a historic building, and it was originally in Bank. So it can be done, but again, there's a bit more loopholes with it. So it'll be cool to see how this ends up kind of growing. Oh,
I guess
wait.
I'm saying Mama Shelter also aims for something like that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we had Mama Shelter in Hollywood. And I think they have since closed. They might be rebranding, and I forget where else they are, but they were in Hollywood and they had a cool rooftop bar. You walk in, it's a vibe. Like it definitely almost had like this old school, like bowling alley / like retro, like, but it was such a cool feel. And like you walk in and you're like in the bar, in the restaurant, very, very small, like front desk area. And then everybody goes up to the rooftop bar. So definitely a fun place for sure.
Christelle saying hotel bars in Palm Beach have always been a popular place.
Oh yeah.
They are, but they close at like 8:00. That's the only thing.
Well, you got to go with what the crowd. Oh, and it looks like we got Craig from Click Media on, I think.
Morning.
Right? Probably. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So let's go on to our next topic here. JetBlue. We got to talk about some airlines. What's going on with them? They are doing a domestic first class in 2026. So they plan to finally introduce a traditional first class seat on domestic flights starting next year. And many of its current non-mint fleets will be retrofitted with 2 to 3 rows of this new first class product. So you a fan of JetBlue, by the way?
I've never flown on JetBlue. I've never had it out of Miami before. It looks great though, but it sounds like what we've been talking about in a lot of things, right? Who's spending the money? It's the luxury segment. It's that place that is doing really well. So you have to add those things that people are spending on.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to me. We're all flying on the same metal tube through the sky, but in those different sections, how much difference in pricing it is.
Completely.
Right? Unreal. Like I'm planning my flight now into Europe, to Italy. And what a jump each section is right now. So I'm like trying to play, what was it? Check-in chicken that we did a couple of shows ago, right? Like how close can I get before I can maybe get an upgrade?
No, I'm a big fan of JetBlue. They're big out of Fort Lauderdale. So I've flown that when the Miami part didn't make sense. But I mean, it's a great product. I love their mint product. I don't know. I'm a big fan of theirs. Again, they can't compete with as far as just the number of flights and the volume, and as far as the size of the airline, it's not competitive with Delta, United, American, but they do a fantastic job. So this is cool. And it's showing like, this is, again, we've seen it in hotels as far as like luxury is staying strong. Same goes for the flights.
I agree. It's going to keep rolling that way, but listen, I understand you have to make money, and it's not on the seats in the back. It's the seats on the front. That's how those airlines make their money and their dollars. And everyone's saying they like JetBlue, and Lou saying huge differences. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And Lou going back to the first story, he loves a big lobby where things happening. big traditional bars like Charleston Place and the Bennett. I know the Charleston Place now. I know that one. I got to
Now
say,
you
I
know.
that lobby. It's very nice. I do too. Sarah stayed at one that I used to like a lot, which is Intercontinental Miami. Giant lobby. So cool.
I was a big fan, definitely a big fan. Intercontinental Miami, amazing. Yeah. So speaking of what everybody was talking about at the hospitality show, AI, that kind of ties us into our next top headline that actually came out yesterday. Big news. Our friends over at Muse has acquired an AI firm to simplify data usage for hotels. So this particular company is really focused on automating data workflows, performance tracking, predictive analytics. We are seeing a huge amount of this. And look, just before we hopped on here, by the way, Steve was talking about, oh, have you seen this new feature with ChatGPT? Like, you're into it. So I want to hear what you've got to say.
I'm very into it. I love it. I think it makes things much better if you use it every day. And so ChatGPT came out with this new web browser called Atlas. So it replaces Google Chrome and Safari or whatever else you might use. And I've been using it now for 48 hours. And I don't think I'm going back to Google Chrome at any time soon because it's just way more intuitive. It knows what I want answers on and it suggests things, right? Like if I type in your name, Sarah, it will give me everything about you with a summary about you in addition to like, hey, what else do you want to know about Sarah? And do you want me to send an email to her? Right? Like all of these things happening within your web browser all at the same time. So it's very cool what's going on there. But for Muse, I like this because hotels have so much data. There's so much coming in all the time. It's how do you use that data to personalize someone's experience? And also it will generate more revenue for the hotels because you're suggesting things to me that I like, right? So it's not a hard upsell. If I like it, I'll buy it, right? And so if you know that I like a cabana on this side of the pool with this champagne and this kind of platter, and you suggest it to me, and maybe there's a bundle price, I will most likely buy it. And so how do you do that efficiently with thousands of people staying in these hotels? And so now Muse with their 12,900 hotels, hopefully we'll start bringing this out to them. I think it's going to happen very fast because I was, my consulting world, I was talking to a startup that is an AI. I can't name them, but it was very cool what they were doing. It sounds similar-ish, where they had agents. So they had a phone agent. So you would call in, you didn't know it was AI, and it sounded like a real human. It then assigns a ticket to the AI that runs housekeeping, and that housekeeping
AI. You talking to Ryan?
No, I can tell you offline. Someone else.
Oh, right. No, I was just talking to another company with this.
Yeah, so another AI that then has the housekeeping and sends a ticket to the housekeeper. So it sounds like a lot of people are in this.
A lot of people are in it.
I'm all about it. People ask me, like, well, don't you think it's going to really hurt? I said, no, if it's in these areas that help make things more efficient and easier for the guest, I'm all about it. And then in the back of the house, if it takes away from scheduling and payroll and ordering and all the paperwork that people don't realize hotel people have to do, except the ones that listen to the show because you're all in operations, it is so stressful, hours and hours of that. And if this can take away those hours and I can get back on the floor and hang out with the guests and make sure I'm taking care of them, that's where I like seeing all this happen.
Yeah, no, this is great. And by the way, the name of the company that Muse acquired is Data Chat. And this was actually their 14th acquisition. But it's the first one that's sort of really focused on bringing in technology and data science. So rather than new products or customers. So I think it's great. Great move. Definitely. Yes.
Personalization on steroids, better utilization of customer data, better experience for everyone. And Paul and I have been working a lot now together. So shout out to Paul. All comes through this. So Paul and I are working on some projects. So shout out to Paul. And if you need help, he's your man in that digital AI SEO world. He's great.
Ooh, all right, cool. Thanks, Paul. Hey, by the way, always thanks for joining and like tuning in with us.
He's a super fan, so we're always going to help out our super fans.
Yes. Okay, so moving on. IHG, our friends over there, they are creating another soft brand as its pipeline shows strongest ever performance. This is kind of interesting. So they're debuting a new soft brand outside of the Americas. And it's specifically in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. But it's interesting because it's really kind of showing, I mean, that first of all, what we're seeing just in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, we're seeing a lot of strong trends, and people want a lot of personalization. So,
Yeah, it's funny because they didn't even mention the name. They just said we're going to
No.
create a new one, no standards. Just like, no, we've got one coming. Don't worry. And it just shows how much people that have independent hotels and how hard it is, right? Because the
Mhm.
only reason you join this soft brand is really to get more eyeballs on your property, more heads in your
Yeah.
beds,
Yeah.
and you're paying a percentage of your revenue to these soft brands on that promise. And so it just shows that, I see it more and more. Like a lot of people who have had properties for many, many years just don't know how to keep up with the times. Like there's so much technology, there's so many
Sure.
new things. How do I adapt? How do I get the money to do these things? And so they look to these bigger brands almost like as a consultant on top of delivering people into their hotels while still keeping their uniformity and their own kind of vibe, but meeting some standards. So it's this weird balance now that's happening with the great independent hotels, like we just talked about, Death and
Yeah.
Company, creating their
Mhm.
own and don't want a flag, versus others who are like, you know what, I just bought this property or I've had it in the family for years and I don't know what else to do with it. Let's put it into the soft brand. So like someone said here, oh boy, more brands.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. I know. Well, look, I will say this, and because Ellie Malouf also spoke at the Skift conference, and not only what he was saying, but what other leaders have been saying in the space. Everybody's really looking towards that region. I mean, it's obvious. Look, the market has softened in the United States, in the Americas, and so they're really looking towards Europe, the Middle East, and Africa because there is just it's a bit stronger over there. And so they're like, well, hey, this is an area that we want to play in because more and more people are coming, with emerging markets and destinations. And I think that's will almost be looking to that part of the world to see what's happening next in hospitality, which is, a shift a little bit.
I agree. I love the power of social media, especially like if you go into some black holes on TikTok or Instagram Reels and seeing like what's the hotels in Japan are doing, or in China and some of these crazy cities that just look futuristic to me.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing what I'm being served up and just seeing all the cool things going on. So they are doing amazing, amazing projects over there. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see how we
Yeah.
can do more and more of those. But all right, another brand to keep
Yeah.
hold
You
of.
want to run this one?
Like another brands just keep coming. They keep coming.
I know.
But Accor confirms possible Ennismore IPO and raises profit forecast. So they are saying that Ennismore, which is their biggest bet on lifestyle and boutique hotel division, is doing really well. And they've got a lot of brands down here in Miami. They're about to open the Delano Hotel here shortly. They're redoing the SLS on the beach. They also have the Hoxton and 25-hour hotels. But it raises profit outlook, saying that not profit, not revenue, their profit, right? So they've been managing their costs and saying that they have seen strong performance in the lifestyle and again, luxury segments.
Yeah.
Keep seeing that's where people are spending their money.
Totally.
And an IPO could unlock extra capital and independence for Ennismore so they can keep it growing, highlighting the strength of that brand. So a lot that Accor is doing because they have 40 brands and Ennismore kind of leading the way. Have you stayed in any Ennismore properties?
I have not, which is interesting. Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, they brought up a lot of like the old Morgan's Hotel brand. They
Yeah.
have all that. They've got SLS. They have the Delano now. They've got a lot of cool brands that they're working with that I'm excited to see, especially the Delano, because I worked there. It was such an iconic place for so long. It's been closed for several years, and now it's about to relaunch and open.
Totally.
So let's see what they can do with that brand.
Well, and it's interesting too because Accor just, I mean, it more of a European-based brand, but they've really just as they've grown over the years and as they've acquired other brands and really kind of getting into the more of the Americas, that's an interesting one to watch just because I think we're so focused on a lot of the brands that are based in the United States and how they've grown elsewhere, whereas Accor is kind of doing the reverse. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they continue to grow and also how those brands do in the United States, because I do feel like the service is a little bit different as far as the ethos of it.
Because Fairmont being their top luxury brand.
Yeah.
Right? I haven't stayed at a Fairmont before. So we'll see how they do.
Yeah.
But the other part that was interesting in this announcement that they had was that, their revenue top line was kind of flat. It didn't really go up as much as they expected, but their profit grew. And so they did a lot of cost cutting or cost savings. They didn't really say how they achieved it. or how they plan to maintain it.
Mhm.
So I'm curious to see what they continue to do, because really, if you can control your two biggest expenses, which is labor, that's a big one, it's usually 50%, and your supplies, that's usually how you control your profit at the bottom line. So
Totally.
I'm curious to see how they're doing that with their supplies. If tariffs and all these things are going up across the US, is labor where it's being cut? Let's see what the future holds in Q4.
Yeah. Oh, we got a lot of shout outs here in the comments.
What do we got out here?
Junior
Junior.
Collins. Yeah.
What's up, Junior?
Shout out
We
to
work
Core
together.
and Novotel Miami Brickle.
There you go. Novotel. I like Novotel a lot. Client at one
Totally.
point. Fairmont, San Francisco.
Yeah.
I need to get back to San Francisco.
Yeah. You need to check out Fairmont. I mean, I did work at a property that was a Fairmont property for a bit, so I'm definitely biased in a good way, I think. But I was just at the Fairmont Breakers in Long Beach. Big fan. They do great work. They do big work.
And Junior and I worked at the Viceroy, so another boutique brand, but high
Yeah.
grade, trying to push very big. So a lot
Yeah,
of fun stuff in that world.
totally. A lot of good stuff. Wow. All right. Well, we're gonna keep on track with time here, because I'm gonna be kind of bouncing out, but.
I'm going to give a speech downstairs, everyone. So let's keep it on track.
Gosh, oh my gosh. But why don't we go ahead and do our real-time recap, huh?
Let's do it.
Yeah, what are you
All right.
seeing?
So for me, I did not travel out of the city this week, but
Yeah, sure.
I did get to go to a couple of restaurants, and an area in Miami that, if you haven't been to, Design District, really is pretty impressive of what has been created out of what used to be just like factories and warehouses.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Is now like the center of the fashion world, with every major brand and designer there. But they have a little food court called MIA Market, and they have some great local places. And one of them is called Chevre. It's a cheese and sandwich shop.
Okay.
And you would walk right by it. But if you're in Miami, go get a sandwich from Chevre in the MIA Market. And my favorite sandwich is the Spaniard sandwich. Delicious, great service. A little pricey for the sandwich, but well worth it if you can make it there. So that's my real-time shout out of just a good vibe, good people, and a beautiful place.
Does everything have goat cheese on it?
It does not, no, but their specialty is cheese. And so it's like very like award-winning manchegos, aged for 10 years with this kind of meat, and orange marmalade, and with this honey that's from a little farm and wherever it might be. So it's that kind of vibe.
Interesting. No, just because like Chevre's goat cheese. So it's like
their logo is a goat.
Yeah, I mean, that is what Chevre is. So that is fascinating. Okay, cool. I'm going to add it to my list.
Yes.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I could. Oh, look, still mentioning the Fairmont Lake Louise. Yes, also fantastic. Fairmont Banff. I mean, I could go on. They're amazing.
All right.
Okay, so my quick real time recap: the Magnolia Hotel, the Tribute Portfolio Hotel here in Denver, fantastic. Cute spot, very unassuming. I first kind of came up on it. I'm like, and then you come in and there's this whole world. The service was excellent. I came in a little bit early, was hoping that maybe my room would be available. It wasn't, and it was crazy because you could see everybody's luggage. It was all the hoteliers were coming into town. So everybody's luggage was like lined up along the back. But they were so pleasant. Like, oh, not yet, but we'll hold your items for you. And it was just pleasant. I mean, a lot of people, it's tough. Like, that's one of my areas where it's like I get to a hotel, I'm like, oh, I really don't love it when the hotel room is not available. But they were just so pleasant about it that it was like, okay, cool. We'll just like roll with it. But yeah, they did a fantastic job. So just a shout out to them. Everybody I interacted was just genuinely really nice, really helpful. And it just felt like it was just an overall really pleasant experience. So they were great.
I love it.
Yeah.
You want to read our quote this week? I read it last week. You got the quote.
Oh, okay, fine. Wow, tit for tat here. Okay, perfect. So hospitality is present when something happens for you. It's absent when something happens to you. Those two simple prepositions, for and to, express it all.
I like that very much. When something happens for you, they thought about you, they're thinking about you, they're doing it for you versus, we forgot, now we got to take care of this and get it to you. Right? I think that's kind of the vibe that I go with.
And also very different if something happens around you. Ooh, dropping some more prepositions into this. Oh, wow. Nerd alert. Yeah.
I like that very much. And before we sign off, I do want to give, just thoughts and prayers to everyone out in the hurricane's path, right?
Yeah.
I've been following that in Jamaica and now Cuba. It's going to continue through the Caribbean. It's devastating what happened there. And we've all worked in hotels, I think, that have had tragedies or, emergencies or things like that. So to the staff out there that's working and taking care of guests that got stuck, we give you a big shout out and really cheering you on, but stay safe.
Yeah.
Don't chase down any of these social media heroes that want to get views and likes on their videos. Stay safe. Take care of you and the team. But I really want to give you guys a big shout out doing that because I've been through it and it's definitely tough.
Whew. Yeah, it's definitely tough times out there. No, thank you for sharing that. I know you did a post on that yesterday, I believe. And so, I mean, it's a great reminder.
That was a big one. And then on a positive note, everyone, look, we continue to bring out all these great stories for you. If you have anything that you liked on this show, make sure to forward over to one of your friends because I'm sure they'll like it right now. Take out your phone and forward this podcast over to them. I saw you have a new one, Sarah, on Skift. That is a nice daily download, which I loved. Congratulations on that one. So tell people where they can find that one.
Exactly. Thanks so much for bringing that up. Yeah. So if you have been following Skift for some time, they do have the Skift daily briefing, which is basically the top headlines that's happening in the world of travel, about three topics every day, 3 minutes or less. And previously we had been doing an AI voice. And so we were like, let's bring a little bit more of a human touch to it. So I'm helping bring that human touch. So if you don't already listen to the Skift Daily Briefing, check it out. 3 minutes. You're going to get a dose of what's happening in the world of travel and hospitality, and you can carry on with your day.
Yep, I loved it. You did a great job, and no one better than at it than you. So I loved it. Continue doing it. And for all of you, make sure to subscribe, like, send this over so we can keep growing this show. We love it. But until next week, everyone, stay
hospitable. Oh, we messed it up. Oh, we're so close. Stay hospitable.
Want to stop juggling spreadsheets, calendars, and a dozen apps just to run your rentals? Logify makes it easy. It's an all-in-one toolkit for hosts. Build a direct booking website, automate guest messaging, and keep all your channels in sync. Running your rental business your way has never been simpler. And for Good Morning Hospitality listeners, you can get 20% off any yearly plan with code GMH20. Just check the link in the show notes to get started today.